Your name is?
Oh, Jack Gordon.
Mr. Gordon. Good. Well, Frederica used to work for Mrs. Lippman. Did you know her?
No, Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
Yeah, she was a big girl, sir.
22-minute podcast. 22-minute podcast. Don't want to take up much of your time. Just gonna read some headlines. Stuff.
Welcome to the 22-minute podcast. My name is Wes Sievertson. Today is Valentine's Day. February 14th, 2025, and I'm here with James.
Hey.
You already heard him. There he is.
That's
Yeah, so the opening clip there, Silence of the Lambs, came out on this day in 1991. Love the irony. Love the juxtaposition releasing such a brutal,
sexy date movie.
I was about to say, like, so unsexy. No,
Well,
no.
it depends.
Right. Some people got laid that night, but they were probably like cutting each other while they were doing it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was
Probably.
consensual.
Dr. Chilton, maybe.
Who's Dr. Chilton?
He's the guy that runs the facility where Hannibal is kept.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, almost used that scene, honestly.
Slime bag.
Yeah, the little... He almost looks like he should be in Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like he belongs in one of those villages. It's in the background somewhere. But yeah, great movie. Love Anthony Hopkins. Jodie Foster. Hey, I love Jodie Foster, even though I did not enjoy True Detective Season 3. She's really, really good. Like, she's...
I thought it was okay.
No, it's okay. I'm not saying it was bad. I just didn't... You know, they shouldn't have called it True Detective, and I would have probably had...
And it's Season 4.
My bad. Season 4, my bad. Yeah,
Jackass.
Sorry. Yeah, it didn't leave enough of an impression. I'm sorry.
I think they're going to come back with a second half of it or some shit.
Well, honestly, to me, it made some choices that just remove itself from, like, it's inconsistent to the writing of the first 3 seasons. So it's like,
right, but like the way they introduced it when they started naming characters that were like obviously going to be related to Russ, and then you had the Tuttle Foundation doing shit up there. It's like you thought that was going to come full circle, and like nothing gets mentioned anymore.
Well,
It's
because it just
disappointment. Spoiler alert. Also, sorry.
Yeah, because it really was very arbitrarily tied in, and that's kind of the issue I have. Is like you just didn't need any of that, and I mean ultimately the tone is not the same. Like it's just not True Detective, and that's fine. Like it really is. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it just because it does just kind of irk me a little bit. But maybe in 20 years, it'll be fine. No, and I did enjoy the supernatural elements of the season, but none of that is in. Like there's no. What's beautiful about the first season, that last scene where he looks up. And he sees the universe, you know what I mean? He's like being stabbed and like held up by like the serial killer, cult leader guy, right?
Yeah, and then as he's dying, he's seeing like fucking
he thinks
spectral light.
He thinks it's what he's seeing, but you just like he's forgetting, and the audience is forgetting that he mentioned that he has these hallucinations from time to time. Like because of something I don't remember what it was. But
this could happen to anyone losing that amount of blood, being attacked like that. Your dopamine levels, gets triggered.
No, you're right. I don't think that's what the script was trying. I think the script wanted you to be confused, and I think I think the script for a very brief moment wanted you to almost think because you followed Russ through this very creepy maze, right? Into the, like what feels like the heart of the beast, like he's metaphorically going down the river of Styx into hell or something.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're showing you how much everyone's terrified of these artifacts that they're showing them. Like, do you know what this is? And they're like, oh, Carcosa, like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. So they build this.
And it makes you like that. Yeah.
Right. It builds this mythos and all of the shit that, like, you have Russ, this character, this whole time being like, time's a flat circle, nothing's real. You know what I mean? And so you have very...
I don't sleep. I just dream.
Shut the fuck up. No, but that's the point. So you have these very conflicting, like he's this metaphysical but very grounded, like trying to like no shit is just real. It's right here in front of
Everything's in evidence. Yeah.
us. Right. And then this cult that pretends to be some sort of spiritual religious thing, and so it all kind of converges to this moment where you with Russ are confused and you're like, holy shit, is this serial killer right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at the universe, and I just went through this maze. And am I in the heart of something? Did I find something in the middle of fucking Louisiana? And then you remember, like, no, he's hallucinating. and
he's insane.
Well, yeah, right. Like Russ is a little fucked up, and so you're brought back to reality, and that is the point. That supernatural shit isn't real. And
Isn't it weird how you could not like the fourth season at all, but the first season is arguably the best single season of television ever made?
Well, again, I'm not saying I don't like the fourth season. It's just that they this is what I'm getting at, is they categorically wrote a different show. They really did. Like because they made the supernatural thing real. And
Well,
so-
they removed the two white guy aspect,
That's
which
fine.
is good.
yeah, I don't
It's
care about
good.
that at all. like
It seems like you do.
yeah, okay, thanks. all right. Hey, I'm not walking down gaslight me into. No, I just said we got into this
Speaking
because
of gas works,
I love
this day
Jodie
in
Foster.
92,
What I missed it. This day in '92, Wayne's World. But
Wayne's World,
Yeah, I almost opened with the Wayne's World clip. I was pretty close.
probably the greatest film ever made.
I do love it, man. Yeah, my mom. That's one of my mom's favorite movies. So I've been watching that. I can't even remember the first time I saw Wayne's World. That in Grease.
I think they gave Wayne's World out on VHS at McDonald's. There were like
Dude.
3 options that you could have if you bought like
Yeah,
so much. In
I remember
food or
that kind of
whatever.
thing. Yeah,
And we got Wayne's World, and we wore that bitch the fuck out.
dude, that's when the world was right.
Everything was okay.
Yeah. Really, the internet just kind of great for certain things, but it ruined experiences like that. It really did.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
quaint. That it'll be seen as, I guess we should have stayed with fucking outhouses, right? No indoor plumbing, old man.
Right.
Like I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Go yell at the clouds.
Exactly. But still, as someone who just loves media, I mean we just
It
don't.
was such a digestible way to take it in.
Exactly.
It wasn't too much. You weren't at a buffet line. You know what I mean?
Boom, boom. Yeah, it really is like if you can't remember how many images you've seen, you're not going to appreciate.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta
you
slow
know-
it down sometimes.
Yeah, it's the same flower bowl metaphor bullshit that has been going on since the birth of Jesus taking a first shit and that little rose growing out of it. You don't know that? Read your Bible, bro. Read your Bible. All right.
Which one?
Which Bible? Yeah, I think it's in
Yeah.
the Trump one. So you're saying?
Yeah, the new Trump.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You already have it. Don't worry. On this day in 1971, Nixon installs recording devices in the White House, and all it did was fuck him over.
Yeah, I heard that they had like an FBI seal or whatever that they would, like an emblem that they would hang up in the building, and it was made. Of course, this was sometime after, would have been in the 80s or something like that, but it was made by like a Russian contractor.
Oh, I was reading. I know what you're talking
And
about.
they had mics in there. They
they had,
bugged the fucking emblem, so they heard everything that was going on.
Yeah, it was something like because they weren't. It was something like they weren't using electricity or something like that. They were using a different kind of power that was
Like some type of radio wave.
right. It was triggered by a radio wave, so it wasn't something that was running all the time, and it wasn't
Yeah.
something that was picked up by your normal screen.
But for like 4
screens.
years.
It was like 7 or 8 years, man. Yeah,
Oh, was it that long?
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
reading about this myself. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't until like it was like a British intelligence person realized that this was possible or something like that they kind of spread the word like, bro, you need to scan for something else, and they found it. Yeah. So
Well, while we're on the subject of intelligent Brits, happy birthday, Simon Pegg.
man, yeah, I probably should have started the show with a Simon Pegg audio bit because he
That
deserves
guy's a
it.
hero of mine.
100%.
Yeah, he's so good.
Same. Yeah,
And Nick Frost. I mean, fuck.
absolutely. No, that whole crew and oh gosh, I'm blanking on Edgar Wright, excuse me.
Edgar Wright, yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking about it before with Alexander Payne. It's like there are guys of a certain age, probably no older than shit, man, or no younger. I don't think there's many filmmakers under the age of probably 45 who can get away with telling original stories right now. Maybe that'll change. Well, I guess I don't know how old like Robert Edgers is, so forgive me. There's a few, but very rare. And I just feel like these guys, whether Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and that whole crew, are just from a time where people openly were like, no, this is what needs to be made. Like, cool, make your Batman movies with Tim Burton and all that. Great.
I just feel like their dynamic could be equated to like Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn in the 90s. Like how they had that kind of duo together, that back and forth where you were comfortable with it, you were familiar with it, and it kind of put you at ease. So they were allowed to write some scripts that kind of facilitated those characters.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? I Made and what's the other one? And Swingers. Such cult classics, like distinct films.
But I mean, even like Four Christmases and shit like that. Like they kept going with it.
I haven't seen Four Christmases, but
what?
I'm not gonna watch Four Christmases. But
why not? It's fantastic.
That's not true. There's no way that's true. But I'm never gonna find out. I'm just saying I do like the idea that they bring that they use Four Christmases to bring that back. That's fun.
Do you hate Robert Duvall? Is that it?
No, of course not. Of course not.
What about Sissy Spacek or Reese Witherspoon?
Yes.
You hate her?
Absolutely.
I love Reese. I think she's good for America.
Yeah, I you know what? It was only confirmed for me that
blonde, blue eyes.
When she gets arrested, she says, "Do you know who I am?"
Did she get arrested?
She did. She was drunk and she was getting arrested.
When did that happen?
Like last year. No, I don't know. More recently, like in the last 5 years, something like that.
After this, I'm going to spend about 2 hours just researching all of this.
Look it up, man. But yeah, that was definitely part of where I was like, yeah, I don't need her. I don't need her.
Wow.
I did watch Big Little Lies or whatever. Is that what it's called?
I'm not watching that kind of TV, dude.
It wasn't good. It wasn't
I
good.
bet not.
It was such, like, there's, is it Sally Rooney, I think, is an author that some lady that I was hanging out with was like, she's so great, I think you'd really like her. And then like a couple years later, I was like, oh, Sally Rooney came out with a new book, I'll pick it up. I got a chapter in and I was like, how could I give a shit? I don't care. Yeah. Oh, like I don't remember the because like it was the opening chapter and it was like from the protagonist going on a date with some guy and like it wasn't good. Like, oh, isn't he kind of obnoxious? Oh, but she still maybe might. I don't know. There was some sort of weird juxtaposition thing that she did at the end that I was like, yeah, I guess that's clever, but I don't fucking care about you going on this date. Why would I care? I don't want to read about people going on a date.
Is that Normal People? What book was that?
Sally Rooney. It would have been like late 2010s. So, yeah.
Mr. Salary?
That doesn't sound right.
Fuck it. Who cares?
It doesn't matter. All I know is like it's like Fleabag, right? Like I understand that Fleabag is very, very clever and it's meta,
right?
But like, dude,
it's not for me.
No, I don't care that you have a crush on this priest. Why the fuck would I care that you have a crush on this priest? Get over it.
Why are you crying all the time?
Yeah, like I'm sorry.
Grow up.
I like stories about people discovering themselves and like struggling with identity. I don't like you're already there. I don't care about your love life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no struggle there. Like, oh, like I can't find the right person. Oh, I'm sorry that love is a buffet to you. Fuck it. I'm sorry.
Give me a Place Beyond the Pines in any format, like with different actors for 10 years, and I'll be fine.
Or even like, man, I don't know. It's tough for me to reference. Like, I do enjoy the way that Woody Allen tells love stories. Because there is turmoil in every character. It's like no one's confident with who they are, and I love the idea of that relationship between identity and romance. Like that's kind of what I like, and I don't pick up that this person's struggling necessarily with their identity. They're struggling with their place in society. Great, you're a white woman. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that's not the story. Like if you were struggling with like something deeper. than that, I could probably care.
Yeah, like being a white male.
No. Dude, the only story I've even tried to write myself, that stars a white male, or that in any way centers around a white male, is a serial killer. That's the only way you're making a white male interesting, is you have to give him something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you have to make fun of him, which is fine too. Like, I find that very entertaining myself.
Speaking of making fun of white males,
Yes.
happy birthday, Rob Thomas.
Seriously. Like, what an embarrassment for our sex and race. Like I just like, but
You know,
what?
it's just like the ocean under the moon.
God. It's the same idea.
Certified mom music all the way around.
That's right. But at the same time, I totally would have dated that.
Someone
woman.
had to make it.
In that
Yeah.
in the 90s. I would have dated that woman, and I would have been upset by having to hear Rob Thomas every now and then. But she's a fun lady. What are you gonna do?
I feel like Matchbox 20 could make a comeback and make some of their sad music again. But
Let's see what Oasis does. Maybe it paves the ground for more
let
night.
the other whites do first.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Well, I mean, the way America's going, it may just be virtue signaling to sell out
Right.
these concerts at a certain
Right.
point.
They're just like, how much can we sell before we even lift up an instrument?
Yeah. I mean, that's why people go in that conservative direction. You know what's funny? Because you listen to the last podcast, right?
Yeah.
There's, and I don't usually like to talk about other podcasts for sure. Like, on a podcast, it's weird, but
But you got to talk about the GOAT.
Well, I mean, I love Henry and everything for sure, but it's good. I do think it's good if, I mean, the multiple allegations against Ben and his like history of problem drinking, like, it seems like there's something valid to those accusations, and it's good he's not on the podcast anymore.
Yeah, they've gone in a better direction, more wholesome, and
They have.
So I think I'm happy with the newer episodes.
I like it dirtier. I'll always probably idol or romanticize probably up until about 2019, maybe 2020. That vibe for sure. I think it's an upgrade from what Ben was to go to Ed. You know what I mean? To what Ben turned into was nothing. Was absolutely nothing. So they made the right choices. Like, I completely agree with that. But I'm not a pun guy, so I'm just not. And that's just, Ed's just not as funny to me, even though he is smarter and he's more engaged than Ben ever was. Even whenever Ben was at his peak. I'm not a pun guy, so I don't find Eddie funny like 90% of the time. But he's not annoying, and he's not a detriment in any way to the show. So, like, but also he's like a healthy person. Like, that's
right.
And so them getting in their 40s and shit, like, that's the direction they, I really didn't mean to get into all this. Really, what I was gonna say is, like, there is a weird speculation that, like, Ben is going to take that turn, to conservative values. He already was more of on the fence with some of these topics, known libertarian and that kind of thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised because of where media is at, but I would be shocked that he actually did it. I'd be like, wow, oh, he's just an absolute piece of shit, instead of just like 90% that I already knew.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Don't meet your heroes, kids.
Seriously, I actually did meet him, like outside of a show setting.
Yeah.
I was at the airport, actually. And I haven't cared enough to go and line it up exactly, but I'm pretty sure, I'm actually positive that when I saw him, he was landing from seeing the woman that he abused. He told me. I mean, obviously not in those words. He was just like, it was very weird, because I walked.
He detailed every beating.
Yeah. He was like, I pinned
God.
her down and I spit in her mouth. Actually, I was with a girl who liked that once. But
Okay.
anyway, not the pinning her down part. That's a joke.
Oh.
That's a joke. I never did that. But she did ask me to spit in her mouth pretty frequently.
The old pin and teller.
Yeah, the old pin and spitter. No, but
Happy birthday, teller.
Oh yeah, let's get through some birthdays. I'm sorry. Jake Lacey, hilarious. Honestly, he plays a perfect straight man. He has a straight man's face, like not as in sexual orientation, but as like his part in the scene. But he's great in everything I've seen him in, and he knows how to play that very dry. Oh, I'm the butt of the joke because there's something crazy happening around me, guy. He's great at it.
Right.
Elliot Page on this day. I did want to mention Elliot Page on this day while still Ellen comes out as gay. Congrats. It takes steps, y'all. So yes, in 2000,
tough.
It's tough. So on this day in 2014, she at the time is what I'm saying, took a major step to discovering who they are. And we need to celebrate that. Excuse me. All right. Let's finish some birthdays here. Dude, those are the major ones, honestly. The rest we could mention, but anyway. I did have a point with my bullshit earlier. Oh, no, I just wanted to say, like, yeah, dude, I saw him at the airport, right? I just think this is kind of interesting. Maybe it's not. I saw him at the airport, and I walked up to him, and I was just like, Mr. Kissel. You know, I was just trying to be calm, and, like, I just want to say hello, and just want to say thank you. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, hey, thanks, man. You know, I really appreciate it. You've given me a lot of content. Have a good day. But that was awkward. Like, that's all I did. And he, like, kind of just glanced at me. Like, he didn't even, like, it just felt like he was big timing me. And it's like, okay, totally fine.
Told you. Don't meet him.
Yeah, don't meet him. Like, and that's.
Don't go up and talk to him. Don't even look at him.
Dude, I've somehow just met too many famous people, and most of them will big time you. That's the truth.
Why is that? Why do they have to do that?
I don't know. He's at the airport, so I guess, I don't know. Andre 3000 didn't do it. So if Andre 3000 doesn't big time you, you can fucking not big time. But anyway,
no shit, dude.
I just.
You think you're Andre? You think you're fucking Andre, bro?
Okay, so but what I want to say is I think he realized, because what I think actually was going on is he was in a shit mood. And
well, you're at the airport.
Well, but I seriously think he had just come back from the incident, because he was
really?
He was like, hey, where are you coming from? Like, he's tried to start conversation after it was awkward for a second. And I was like, oh, Dallas. He's like, oh, I'm coming from Texas too. I was like, oh, why? He's like, oh, I got a friend there. But I've thought about it before, and if I tried to line it up, I think it was seriously right after it, because it was 2022. Anyway, we got 5 seconds.